Virgo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. My name is Michelle, guys. Welcome. In these weekly videos, we review the major planetary aspects and transits of the week and how they impact your natal sun and what that means for your day-to-day. We start out really broad with the big stuff that everybody should be talking about in terms of astrology, and then I whittle that down into Virgo specific information, and then I'll break everything down into the decans so I can get really specific readings as to how your natal sun in particular is being impacted. Now, for this reading, all you need to know is your birth date. You'll be able to enjoy it with just that information. But the most accurate readings are based on exact locations of your natal sun in the zodiac sign of Virgo. So the only way you can get that is to get your birth chart or natal chart read or generated. And you can do that for free online. You just search free natal chart, free birth chart, and so many websites do it. Grab the one that pops up and that interests you, and you'll need your birth date, time, and location. Put that information in, and then it'll generate a quick natal chart, and you'll know exactly where your sun and all your planets are located. You have a fingerprint of the day that you were born. It's really awesome. But like I said, you don't need that right now. I'll be translating the locations in the decans to birth dates. So let's dive into the big stuff. First of all, happy Cancer season. Yes, I write everything down. I've got to. Sorry about that. We have begun Cancer season. The sun moved into Cancer on June 21st, as same day as the summer solstice. So we've officially begun summer. Happy summer, joyful summer to all of you. Also this week is from June 23rd to the 29th. So on the 27th, Mercury, which absolutely impacts you, moves from Gemini, where it's extremely bright and airy and fun and playful and friendly, to Cancer, where it definitely slows down more, becomes more considerate. It becomes more hesitant in its decision making, and it definitely kind of works for everyone instead of just itself. So it is definitely a different vibe. As with Pisces, it is a very psychic energy. So if you start to feel more psychic or more in tune with psychic messages, it is also because of Mercury's transit into Cancer. We have some really awesome stuff going on. So we have a grand trine between Saturn, the Sun, and the South Node all week long. This, coupled with the fact that Saturn and Jupiter are also sextile to each other, means it is such an extraordinary time for fortunate things to happen for career, because we've gotten it. We know it's like our talents and skills have matured. We know who we are, and there are opportunities opening for us because we're being seen and recognized for it. There's nothing that we can't do or get done. This is really exceptional time where things can really start to find a really nice flow in terms of what you're trying to build out into the world, your career or your house or your project or your business, whatever it is. So I actually love that energy. We also have Jupiter by the 29th. We have Jupiter sextile to the Sun conjunct Mercury. So at the very end of this week, that's going to be extraordinary energy, especially for you guys. Mercury and the Sun will conjunct on the 26th, and Mercury will move into Cancer on the 27th. By the 29th, Mercury and the Sun conjuncted will be sextile to Jupiter. This is a fantastic and fortuitous time where you'll be seen, recognized, confident, and great luck and fortune and expansion and opportunities. I love that energy for you guys. We also have Venus conjunct Mars, which is virile and sexual energy. It is square to Uranus, which means there is sexual revolution, wanting to make changes to your sensuality, sexuality, or sexual relationships. And then we also have a trine to Chiron, which means, yes, we are actually healing those past wounds and being inspired to make those changes based on what we know has hurt us in the past. This could be a real big transformation to your current relationship or to relationships for the future. excellent energy. By the 29th, the sun is going to be semi-square to Uranus and semi-square to Mars and Venus, which could just mean a little bit of frustration on the ego to make us see what we need to change. So let's dive into the Virgo specific information, okay? What is happening in the zodiac sign of Virgo? Not much. There's not many big, no major planets or luminaries are in there. With the moon does start off. It actually transits between Virgo and Scorpio this week. So in the first 2.5 days, 3 days of this week, so the 23rd, 4th into the 25th, the moon will be conjuncting all of your natal suns. You can just think of it as its own mini kind of, its own mini new moon, a way to really open yourself up and allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to receive a fresh start or a new beginning. And that's really, really wonderful energy for each of you. So what is Mercury doing? So Mercury is your ruling dignitary, and it's always important to know where your ruling dignitary is and what's acting upon it, what aspects it's involved in. So Mercury is transiting into Cancer on the 27th. It is conjunct the sun for most of this week, definitely by the 26th. It's moving between 22 degrees Gemini and 5 degrees Cancer. It just moves so fast and so much in 1 week. We have it conjunct the sun, and that means by the 27th, it's going to be part of that grand trine with Saturn, the south node, and the sun. This really is when you can have some really fortuitous conversations that help your career along, etc., or your life along in general. Just being able to take what you know about who you are and put it to practical use and actually be hired or seen or validated for what you can do. Exceptional energy. Mercury is also semi-square to Uranus and semi-square to Venus Mars conjunction this week. That means there could be some surprising conversations that end up coming up, especially with regards to our sensuality, sexuality. FYI. Let's go into the decans. If you know that your natal sun sits somewhere between 0 and 9 degrees Virgo, your natal sun is in the first decan of Virgo, so you are Virgo 1s. This correlates to August Virgos. So August 22nd through the 31st, definitely Leo cusps. That is you. You are Virgo 1s. You are the guys who are sextile to the sun all week long. This means hopefulness, positivity, courage, optimism, being seen, being recognized, even being social, a sense of really having your ego shine and having so many opportunities shine on you and doors open for you. Blessing. You also have a sextile to the sun conjunct Mercury by the 27th. So Mercury is going to fall into this mix. You'll be articulate. You'll be able to speak correctly. You'll be able to have your ideas fresh. People will recognize your ideas. The 27th, 28th, 29th are great days for you to give presentations, write letters, any important conversations that you need to have, or any papers that you need to sign or tests you need to take. These are very great days to do them, and you'll be very successful at them. You also all week long have a trine to Jupiter. So this is lucky week for you. This is a sense of doors opening up and there being an ease and confidence about and an openness about your character that is going to sort of inspire people and just make them fall in love with you. Combined with that sextile to the sun and Mercury, you're gonna get what you want or ask for this week, 100%. There is a long-term opposition to Saturn, which just means butting heads or just being nagged by commitments or obligations or authority figures, even parents. There's a sense of just a tension that keeps existing in that space. It's good to take note of that and breathe through it and know that you have, because it's with Saturn, you have longer than you think to actually work any kind of conflict out. Just take your time. That's over the next year. It could even mean that you're changing jobs or that you want to switch careers. And then you have a long-term quincunx to Neptune, which is just frustration when it comes to keeping your mind focused. You won't have a problem with that this week, though. I think the Sun and Mercury and the sextile, the Sun and Mercury speak for itself. But this long-term quincunx to Neptune just means that it could just be your brain trying to tell you things with all these images that keep popping up in your brain. Write them down, keep track of them, and also find a creative way, a creative conduit to use them. That actually helps a lot. Virgo 2s. So Virgo 2s, if you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Virgo, you are Virgo 2s. Your birthdays are usually between the 1st of September and the 10th of September. If you are born between the 1st and 2nd of September, your natal suns are already trying to Jupiter too, so you can expect a great deal of luck and fortune and happiness and opportunity coming into you, especially financially, because Jupiter is in Taurus. If you're born around the 9th or 10th of September, then your natal suns are already trying to Uranus, which means there are surprising changes and dynamic revolutions going on around you or because of you, a sense of you're really, really content with strange or weird things or fine being the odd man out. Yeah, that's a longer term transit. And then we have a quincunx to Chiron, especially if you're born around the 9th or 10th. So Chiron. Quincunx to Chiron means that old injuries could be acting up and frustrating you. You're going to have to heal them and take care of them. Old traumas could be coming up and interrupting and being disruptive because they need your attention and they need healing. This is a great time to understand the things that are still lying beneath the surface and what they have taught you or what you can learn from them in order to heal them completely. That's over the next couple of years. You don't have to do that tomorrow. And then we have 3. Virgo 3s. Your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Virgo. This correlates to August 11th through the 21st. So now sometimes the 21st is already Libra season, but it just depends on the year. So August 11th through the 21st, correlating birth dates. Your natal suns are semi-square to Venus conjunct Mars, which means there could be some agitation or frustration, sexual frustration, tension, or stubbornness when dealing with whoever your sexual partner is or just your sensuality in general. We also have that quincunx to Chiron if you are born around the 11th or 12th, because Chiron is still in the second decan of Aries, but it's at the very end. So you guys have already started to feel this agitation, like, why does everything have to be so hard? It's going to be extra difficult. The universe is gearing you up. It's teaching you the hard way so you can be the best that you can be. It is training you for the next couple of years. And that's why things will seem particularly tough. We also have a long-term opposition to Neptune, which we've talked about before, that is trying to just keep your head on straight and not be so distracted or caught up in fantasy. That'll be a major challenge for the next couple of years. A trine to Uranus is a long-term happiness and contentment in weird things, like not wanting things to be the same. Being open to changing things, as well as ingenuity or working in technology or with technology. And then we have that trine to Pluto, which means, this is your butterfly period for the next couple of years. You are being put in the pressure cooker in order to change from that caterpillar into the butterfly. It's sort of that cocoon period where you can be comfortable with who you are becoming. And then this week, your natal suns are square to Mercury all week long, and if you're at the cusp, it's going to be square to the sun by the 26th as well. So what does that mean? Or on the 26th, what does that mean? Its own Mercury retrograde, kind of like it's not Mercury in retrograde, but yes, frustrating conversations, people not getting you correctly, butting heads with other people's egos, especially because he said, she said, communication's not coming correctly. This is really not a good time for you guys very unlike Virgo ones, not a good time or good week for you guys to take important tests or sign important paperwork or have important conversations. If you have to as a part of work, it's really important that you take more time to prepare, as well as give yourself more time and have a little bit more patience as you present. But if you could avoid it and put it off till next week, do it. Just an FYI. I love you guys. I hope this is great information to you. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Astrology Motivation, and then come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot, where you can enjoy your week ahead tarot card reading. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.